of the development that would become Levittown, New York. America and the world were changed forever, and not always in a good way. Now, the initial idea behind Levittown was actually brilliant. The Levitt family had been in construction since 1929, but when William Levitt came back from the war, he'd been in the Navy and he'd seen how efficiently they could create military housing in a hurry. He persuaded his father and his brother that you could do the same thing with civilian housing. You could mass produce the parts, put them on a concrete slab, have an assembly line process, and build houses faster, which meant cheaper than anyone had ever dreamed possible. And it was an instant success. The original community was meant to be 2,000 rental homes. 1,000 were rented within 24 hours of the announcement. They added another 4,000. With the coming of the GI Bill, subsidizing housing for returning soldiers, the Levitts went from renting to selling. No money down. The payment was the same as the rental payment. And they really did provide housing for thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of returning GIs. And home ownership is unambiguously a good thing for the individual and the community. Of course, right from the beginning, people complained that the houses were kind of artificial. They were a bit cheap. They seemed prefab because they were, and that's true. But a prefab house is better than no house at all. The problem is somehow suburbia never shed that artificiality. The houses got bigger and fancier, including the Levitt's own houses, but they never got more real. Craftsmanship never seemed to appear in the whole idea, and the thought that maybe craftsmanship would be a good thing got lost, abandoned, ditched with enthusiasm. Now, some people blame capitalism for this. I think that's overdone. It's more realistic than the claim that capitalism impoverishes people. This idea that by giving people exactly what they want and by pandering to the lowest common denominator, it somehow over time leads to a debasing of taste. But the real problem with suburbia, as with so many problems in modern life, is government overregulation. You see, it's zoning that makes suburban neighborhoods so soulless, this separation of work, play, and life, so that in a suburban neighborhood, there's nothing really that you can walk to. There's no focus for community life. There's none of that vibrant activity on the street that people like Jane Jacobs so love. Meanwhile, the downtowns, they empty out at 5 o'clock. Everybody gets in their car, gets in their government-built freeway, and zooms off to sterile suburbia. But whatever the cause, I think it's fair to say that there is some truth to the critique that what you have in fast food, it's fake food being sold to people who live in fake houses, who are themselves increasingly fake people with fake jobs in a fake society. But if so, it's up to us to demand a return to authenticity, to change the zoning laws so neighborhoods are really lively places, and to make sure that as we get wealthier, we demand homes that are genuinely nice and not merely affordable. It's our responsibility to make May 7th into a happy rather than an unhappy anniversary of the invention of the modern suburb.
Thank you.